My name is Annie Wood, and I'm here with Foto Tomev at Canadian Macedonian Place. Today's date is January the 15th, 1993, and today I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Tomev and asking him questions about his past and about the kind of life that he has had in Canada. Mr. Tomev, when did you come to Canada?
1915.
1915? How old were you?
15 years.
What village were you born in?
Zelevo.
Tell me about Zelevo. How big a town was Zelevo?
Well, it used to be about 250 houses there.
And where exactly is Zelevo? Where exactly is Zelevo? What's the closest big town close to Zelevo?
Town was villages there. I mean, coming from Poland, the lane like this, you coming going south to the coast of Lake Choderice, Vlaško selo, Vlasice, današnje selo je, posle Oštima, Trnava, Oštima, Trnava, Rula, Prezica, and so on. Postally go down to Postally.
And you have brothers and sisters? Do you have brothers and sisters?
Oh,
How many people were in your family?
Let's see now, 5 children alive there is. 3 girls alive and me and brothers.
What did your father do in Zelevo?
Well, really was here. I mean, what they didn't really have much to do in the same village, but I mean, my father's stories were that he was in Greece as well, working there, and then in Bulgaria he was there, in Zelevo, and then here he came, I forgot what year he came, when he here, second time my father came here and didn't go back, second time. Was the year, let's see what year was it, I can't think right away, see, so.
So, Zelevo, the town of Zelevo, is it surrounded by mountains? What kind of area?
Mountains, yeah. Mountains, you go from like Lenin, Skorvensko sad Bigla planina, Sodrin do selo Vlaško je. Sad nije vam našto selo tamo, I have a picture of Zelevo too. Then Zelevo, then the place in the west, like it's the press one, Preston Square, Zero Damu, a beautiful land. I have written about when the Greeks came and they took one of the fields I had, the one, very good to give really, this is given, taken by the Kergomanite, so they, see, I can't concentrate, it took a long time. I've written this, but I can't.
Did you have land? Did you farm land? Did you have a farm?
Oh, we have farm. Not too much to make a living, no. But most of, like my father used to be in Greece, and from Greece went to Bulgaria, from Bulgaria, here in Canada, that was his last time.
How old were you when your father started to go to these different places?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I'd say, must have been 5, 6 years. Not that war. No, 5, 6 years before it was.
So when your father would go away, your mother took care of you?
Oh, yeah, mother and sister Tracy. I have 2 sisters. I had the same one that died, and I am the 4th one. So.
Who else lived in your family, in your house in Zelevo? Anyone else live in your house in Zelevo? Did your Baba live with you, or your Deva, or your uncle?
Baba, my father, dad,
So it was just your family in your house?
Well, family.
Your family.
The house now they claim the Greeks as one of the best built during I was born. I was not even born with my house. One of the Greeks say usually as a what do you call I can't think of the word name.
So your house is still standing now?
It's still there. Still exists.
Did you, when you think back to what it was like to be a boy there, do you have good memories? What do you remember about when you were a boy?
What did I want?
No, just what do you remember? Did you go to school?
I went to school. I was registered first in I sat with my father and I, we sat at the door of the front of the door to sit on the ground like there's no seats on it. And we're like teacher two teachers. One was two teachers. One of them was taking my name. They took my name as a photo, all right. But what you use always because I was the tallest of the children there, so you were like headless. Or father hated the name because he thought that he would get name that didn't like the name. You almost forgot my father. But anyway, that was all. I've written all this, but too bad now I can't remember.
Tell me, were you educated in Macedonian? What language were you educated in at school, when you went to school?
So the first was Greek, but no one spoke Greek. No one spoke. Even the priests didn't speak well Greek. No. Then we recognized Bulgarian Exarchate in 1908 after the Unical Day. That's the time they even took soldiers. So before no soldiers were going, no Christian soldiers were in the army.
So did you, after 1908, were you at school? Did you learn in Bulgarian? What did you learn in when you were writing and learning how to?
Say when I registered in Greek school was didn't have a chance to get a book, reader, book or without. Then we recognized Exarchate and started to go in Bulgarian school like we are teachers. So it's in Macedonia, but we call about Bulgarian. There's still some thing there, but anyway. But it was very good. But we were very advanced.
In the village, were there people who were not Macedonian? Were there Turks living, or Gurkumani? What kind of other people were in the village in Zelevo?
People, one was just like religious, that's all the good people, but they say even the priests, they couldn't read the Bible very well, but anyway, they were given paid Greek army at that time.
Tell me, did a lot of men leave Zelevo to go to other places to work?
What do you mean?
I know your father went to other places to work when you were still in Zelevo, before he came to, you said he went to Bulgaria to work. Did lots of men leave the village to go to work someplace else?
Most of people are working out because the land was not enough for the bridges to eat.
So there wasn't enough on the land
for them. No, they were all, most of them were going, well, some in Anatolia, Aegeam, and we used to go Anatolia at that time. But was there, my father really was in different places, Anadol, then to Greece he went. From Greece, a brother left there, one of the brothers left Greece. And then,
when did your father come to North America?
well, first time I think it was around, let's see, around 1905, I think it was like that. I'm not sure, it's 1905.
So you were a very little boy.
Oh, yeah.
Where did your father come when he came to North America?
Toronto.
And then he went back. When did he go back?
He came back at that time, and at that time we were all right at this. And then, I don't know.
So, when you went with him, it was in 1915 when you came with your mother and father. Was your father here when you came over?
I was here.
So your mother and you, and who else came?
Sisters, I had there, three sisters like I had, like two that died. Petra is the youngest one here.
Tell me, how did you feel when you found out that you were coming to join your father in Toronto? How did you feel?
What do you mean?
How did you feel when you found out that you were coming to Toronto, to Canada? Were you excited? Were you afraid? Were you nervous?
No, not afraid at all, but I mean, listen, I went to the city of Aegeam in Liverpool and got a Greek. Well, for passport, I was a Greece that time, so this was 19, let's see what year I came.
1915.
15, that's it. So anyway, they asked me quite a bit of money 20 Napoleons, really, with Napoleons. My mother was so much money, my father's here. So anyway, I came back from the city and we made a call to this neighbor. Says, my mother's spirit, woman, did you get passport for me? Well, no, she said, because I not too much. He said, you never mind how much you pay that money and get the boy from here, out from here, that's over here. So my mother said, next morning, I said, let's go back in foreign. I went there, I paid 20 to Napoleon's with the other time, Greek money, French, Napoleon money. So I paid and they gave me passport. When I was supposed to, if I go back, sometime they will give it to me, but I didn't have it in Arabic, so.
Was that 20 Napoleons just for you?
Pardon?
Was it just for you, for your passport, or was it for the whole family's passport?
Oh, the passport, first, what do you mean the passport?
The 20 Napoleons that you paid, was it just for your passport?
Oh, for my
Just for yours
passport.
alone?
Oh, yeah, because they started with 10, 15, 20, that was the most that they took. If you return back, you go in there, then you give it to you, the money. You know. But I didn't go back and money.
Where did the 20 Napoleons come from?
Well, Napoleon, they were French money.
Did your father send them to your mother?
Oh, send them in Canadian money.
Yeah,
Send them in, sure.
In Canadian money.
Oh, yeah.
How long, I want you to tell me, what kind of plans your family made when they were getting ready to come to Canada? Did you sell the house, or did you give the house to someone? What kind of plans did you make?
Plans really was, plans were different. We expected to be free to go, father to come back, but we were not free, actually the other wars and not free. And the house is still there, but I'm here. And my brother was the only one that remained there. My brother, he served in the Greek army there too. And that's what.
So did your brother live in the house after you left?
Oh yeah.
Does he have a family?
He has a family, Some are born there, but some was born here.
So you have your passport. Then what were your plans? Where did you go when you first left the village to come to Canada? Where did you go first? Did you go from your village to Florida and then take a bus? How did you come to Canada?
Well, Florida, sure, Florida, then from Florida we started Salonika, Regala, Salonika, Switzerland, left 2-3 days there, or one night there, we forgot how many days, and we stayed there from there, went to Athens, the city Athens. We stayed about 5 days there. We left 5 days. The city, they were walking on the street. And somebody must recognize that we're not, local people there. So he came in, talked, in Greek they talked, and so on. I couldn't talk Greek, and somebody knew answer Greek. So we're going to Canada, to Toronto. What boat? They said, what is boat that they mentioned? Well, you better get any boat out here we can get, because that boat may come, but we never get in. So we get just a merchant boat. Ioania was called the boat.
A merchant ship.
Merchant ship, yeah. So there was a flood in raisin in Tatran, the city, for 3 days.
There were raisins, they were loaded?
The merchant boat. Another end of Greece, there's a map, the Catapult it's called. Catapult, 3 days there, I'm loading again, the Greeks, the Greeks revolted. Then they revolted, then they bought to start to come to Canada.
So they loaded, so the boat was loaded, and finally everything was ready, and you started to cross the ocean.
Yeah.
Did you stop in any other place in the Mediterranean?
So Gibraltar is the only place that you stop. We don't really stop there. So Gibraltar is just pass by.
Did you leave the boat when you were at Gibraltar? Did you get off the boat?
No, we didn't.
No, so you stayed on the boat.
No.
What was the boat like? Where did you sleep? Where did you eat?
Well, the boat, that is a merchant boat. That was the people that, these 5 people of mine, That room is where the engine is working car.
Down below where the
Bangalore,
engine
yeah. And I used to, water don't bother me, see, I used to give them the food sometime to them, all right. And so from there, naturally, we came to New York. New York had it, well, before we came to New York, so we wash yourself because we got the idea.
How did you wash yourself? Was there a...
Oh, with a steam with a pipe of steam.
Oh, no
That was made it more worse than we are. Anyway, we had to go take the water.
Tell me, did you cook your own food on the ship?
Huh?
Where did the food come from?
Food?
On the ship?
Oh, they had out there food, they had live cattle, a sheep.
Right on the ship?
Right on a sheep, and there was no fridges there like they have here, no, on that boat.
Well,
It happened to be one of the young men was from Bitola. They found out, and then he was a butcher. He was to kill the cattle and the sheep and so on. And he was not afraid. Talk about the reasons so on, but longer once be careful because they'll throw him in the lake and they see this. Oh, he was a very courageous man. He was the young man, about 23, 30 years old.
So these sheep, these cattle, they belong to the people who own the ship.
Greece,
Right. And so this man, this Macedonian from Bitola, he killed one of the animals?
Well, he was in the boat just like us. So
Right.
anyway, but he happened to find out he was a butcher in the Bitola. So the Greek government said, well, we don't talk about this because they'll throw in the lake, never mind, I'll throw them all. He was not afraid of man. Well, I don't know what city in the United States was. I don't know where else Detroit was or something different. But it was a young man, he was not afraid.
So did you eat these animals?
Huh?
Did you eat these animals for food?
Oh yeah, that was the sheep. Yeah, sheep and cattle and the food was all right. But, I mean, I eat, but my people they used to take them sometimes. But I don't know how they leave too much.
Did you get seasick on the boat?
No, you never get seasick.
Never? That's good. You're lucky.
I was lucky.
What about your mother and your sisters?
Well, they came. I think they came on the boat too.
So they didn't get seasick
No, I
either?
don't think
No, your whole family was
No, I
lucky
think
then. So then, when you arrived in New York City, where did you arrive? What was the port that you arrived at?
New York?
Yeah, did you go to Ellis Island?
I think we stopped at Ellis Island. Then we went to this place. I forgot. I've heard so many years. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, from there we came. We took the boat. I mean, the train. I mean, there was a train. They give us big long food inside, nice sandwiches and so on. Banana. We throw them away. We didn't know. We didn't know. Well, we didn't know the banana can be eaten. Throw them away. And I came to far as Hamilton, and I read Hamilton because Anne is French. When I was going to school in Macedonia, private class we got it, private class in high school, like the first year. So we learned French, but that was about 3 months we learned French because the inspector, he specified.
So this is in Hamilton. I forgot to ask you something that's very important. I forgot to ask you when you were born, and I wanted to ask you if you have a birth notice of when you were born.
I think,
Do you have a birth certificate?
first, no.
No birth certificate.
No, there isn't, and I don't, they still have it. They haven't. They don't, they put it in church, they have a church book there, but that's all else.
Tell me when you were born.
Well, I told you, I mean, I think 1899, 1989.
Yeah, don't say 1898 because you'll add one more year to your age. How old are you now? How old are you now?
94.
94 years old.
20 October.
You know, Mr. Tomev, I know that you are an artist, but I want to ask you something. When you were a little boy, did you like to draw?
Huh?
When you were a little boy, did you like to draw pictures when you were...
The boat? No, I didn't. Not in the boat, no.
Not in the boat, not in the boat. But when you were small.
Sure, I mean, that was ever since I was born. I mean, 3-4 years I was always we had a windows like we use them for table, and we used to draw them. Draw everything. My brother the same thing. However, the wall was for after art. Then we happened to became like Bulgarian. We recognized Bulgarian. Okay? They send the artists to paint the icons. So I was there every day to watch them how they do it. I was only say about let's see, up like a couple of years. So anyway, my brother too was to come there, and I asked him. I said, "What are you going to study about art?" He said, "The only place you can go to Bulgaria, because Bulgaria was known that Bulgaria you can study art." And in fact, when I graduated from art school, I thought, first of all, to go to Bulgaria to go 1 year to learn the Bulgarian. I know that knew the Bulgarian, but not well. I thought 1 year, another year to go to Paris.
When you were drawing, when you were a little boy with your brother, where did you get the paper from?
Oh, we had a paper, mostly. Very, very seldom we get paper, but mostly we got the black,
was it a chalkboard?
chalk, yeah.
So, did you buy the chalkboard?
What should we buy?
And did you buy the chalk then?
Well,
What'd you buy it with money?
Store. We had 3-4 stores in the village.
Oh, you had 3-4 stores. And did you buy it with money, or did you buy it with eggs or with other things?
My father was here with the money. It was all right.
Now, okay, well, so you're in Toronto now. You're 15 years old, and no, you're in Hamilton, aren't you? You didn't. First, you go to Hamilton.
And for long pass by with the train,
Right.
New York.
So you went from New York up to
New
Hamilton.
York, we get train to Toronto, straight to the Hamilton. When we pass by and saw the sign, Hamilton. Well, now it's really Hamilton because French. And
How long did it take on the train?
train, well,
How long do you think it took?
3-4 hours easier, more, I don't know, I don't remember, 3-4 hours easier because the trains were slower like nowadays.
What did you see out the windows? When you were looking out the windows, what did you see? Was there anything that you liked, or do you remember anything about the trip when you're on the train?
Oh, you mean in the cities like not you see houses?
You saw houses, but they're different though here in Canada.
I don't remember this.
You don't remember. It's a long time. So when you arrived in Toronto, who met you?
Oh, really, my father used to receive the letters. Another house, Niagara Street was called. Niagara Street. There was anyway. Then when my father came in from work, he came and picked me up from the work Niagara. Then we went to see. I forgot now. See, I've written all this, but I'm in a different age now. This I can't remember everything.
Right. Well, that's okay. Just tell us what you do remember.
No.
So your father met you at the train station. Your father met you at the train station when you arrived.
Yeah.
Right. And then he took you back to Niagara Street. Where did you live when you first came to Toronto?
My father lived in Wellington, Niagara. He lived there. Not far, same, but I don't know. You know, he was receiving the letters there. I mean, so that's why I stopped there. I thought my father was living with them.
Let's talk about the house that you just came to in Toronto. It's on Wellington Street, right? And how many rooms did your house have?
Oh, 15, 16 people, maybe.
15, 16 people lived there?
Yeah.
So there was your family, and then there are all these
No, not the family, the father first.
Your
The
father?
father, no, and my mother came away later. Way later.
But when you came, where did you live?
Wellington Street, that's what I mean.
Oh, so there was room for you in that house?
Yeah. And we had other men, about 15, 16 people in the room. And I was, my father, we lived in a little room. Mind you, it was like daytime, with no fire, even winter time, just a little stove. I have a picture of it, I don't know how we call it, little stove. And during night time we put it out because we don't want to spend money. And the room that I was kept for my father, and I was against a window because it's a small room, that was a small room, and I was slept with the time overboard. stuck to the glass.
Because it was so cold.
Oh yeah.
Were you surprised that it was like this?
Well, that was the ceremony. That's why we didn't even light the stove to burn the charcoal.
The other people in the house, were they Macedonians?
Macedonians were Macedonians.
Did you know any of the other people?
Oh yeah, no, Macedonians.
Were they from Zelevo?
Zelevo, all from Zelevo.
All from Zelevo.
I think I must have been one from Prilep, I think, was living with us there for a short time.
Was your mother the only woman in the house? Your mother?
Mother came after me.
Oh, so your mother didn't come
No,
with you?
no,
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sorry. I thought she came with you.
I was alone that long time.
So you came by yourself?
Myself, sure. Mother, brother, let's see what year was I forgot the word. Mother and who else was mother, sister? Mother and sister, I think. Mother remained there, served in the Greek army. And I forgot now, Greek army didn't bear it.
So you were a very brave boy then.
Huh?
15 years old, all by yourself, you crossed the ocean.
Well, 5 people. I mean, we were 5, not alone, four people.
And were they men too, the other 4 men?
Huh?
Were they men?
And the men from the same village.
In the same village. Were they family? Were they uncles, your cousins?
They had a family. There were no women those days, not many women. There were 2 or 3 women in the whole village.
Mm-hmm. So when you came here, and you were living on Wellington Street with your father, did your father find you a job? Where did you work?
Very good.
What was your first job?
First job was a Jewish concern. It was a Jewish that was to make how do you say this, or sifter for the stove, where the furnace burns and remains
For the ashes?
ashes. And some of the, we call it remain, what do you call it, I can't remember the name, how do we call it in English?
Coal,
yeah.
that's right. That's what
The
they
economy,
used.
sure.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we worked there for some time. I was the only one Macedonian there. There were Jewish concern. This was on thinking in the battles.
How did you get this job?
Well, through people. There was another person that was nearby village, Washington called. He was there, and he says, "All right, you can come in." There were 3 brothers were Jewish fellows. Soren brothers, called Soren brothers, the name of the place. And just 2 brothers were the owner of the place. Jews were working, making. So when I was there, I was making this children have drums, the round thing with a machine that was and I was working.
So it was a toy factory.
Yeah.
They made toys as well.
Not toy, and they had to for toy factory was really.
Uh-huh. What time did you go to work in the morning?
Oh, morning. Let's see now. Well, about 10 hours. That time is 10 hours work.
Mm-hmm. So.
Saturday morning, being Jewish, then we Saturday, Sunday.
So you worked 5 days.
5 days. Yeah.
And you worked 10 hours a day.
Well, 10 hours.
Was it hard work?
Well, no, not hard for me because I was I was put this thing around thing, and I go around, and I was cutting it. I was cutting and then make for a boy the drum, to make the drums.
Mm-hmm. Where was this place?
Especially battles and New Battle and King South side.
And you were on Wellington Street. Could you walk to work?
I walked, yeah, always. So my people were out from Niagara to what do you call this, to stick there and Kilstree to walk, to save tickets. Oh, they were.
That's a big walk.
But for me it was easy. I mean, I was not too far from Wellington to Bathurst and King.
How long did you stay at that job?
Well, I don't know. I didn't stay too long there. I went and started for Massey Harris to work. For Massey Harris, I worked there.
For Massey Harris?
Yeah, Massey Harris.
What did you do at Massey Harris? What kind of work did you do?
Massey Harris, I was making big bolts for This machine, thresh machine, I think you call it.
A threshing machine.
Yeah, big bolt over it. That was a good job too.
Was that a hard job?
Well, it really hard. No, it's not hard because the machine makes a few to just put the steel and makes a so it makes a thread.
Was it dangerous?
Huh?
Was it dangerous? Dangerous.
Oh, dangerous. Dangerous. You have to keep your hands up. Well, not somewhere. If machine that drop, I lost my finger on campsite board.
You lost your finger?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, this is were making machine for the war, which was the last war. That was the machine, and they were making. Let's see what kind of. Then the bunch were coming twice, and I warned the boss. I said, "Let me finish. We'll finish it. Fix your machine." Oh, it's work. We get out. That's all I tell you. But really, that mechanic, the boss, not the mechanic, but I can't. The one that was looking at me was on his holiday. So that's how I cut my finger.
Because he was rushing you. He was wanting you to work more.
Huh?
That your boss was rushing you. Is that how come you cut your finger? Because he was pushing you?
No, but it's the work. I said, let me finish. Make it fix the machine, but really the one that was the one that would look after that, he was on his holiday.
I see.
So machine was water, a good machine, but it happened to sometimes out twice before I pull out cut my finger. Camps I worked there during the war.
During World War II? During which war? During which war did you work there?
First war.
During the first war. So you were just a teenager.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is just after you came to Wellington Street.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how old were you when you went to the College of Art?
How old? I'm 18.
You were 18 when you went to the College of Art?
3 years after I came to Canada.
How did you find out about the College of Art?
On the found out?
Yeah, how did you find out? Did you hear about it, or did you?
Well, I'll tell you, there was another friend of mine. He's dead now. He liked to art, to become an artist too. So he was let's go to school because art school. So first time we registered nighttime only. Daytime we worked. The first year, the second year that we worked day and night because I had to get 3 years.
So when you registered for night class, what class did you register for? Do you remember what it was? If it was a painting class or a drawing class?
No, first of all, you draw from first of all little things and so on that you have like pots or something like that or anything like that. Then you change to people to draw.
Right. Did you speak English?
Well, I spoke English. I mean, maybe better than I speak now, but I don't know.
I think you speak it very well.
No, I don't. I know I can't speak at all. I can see that, but I can't help it.
So, how did you learn to speak English?
Well, I was, went to people that knew that now people knew that taught me first, and I took books and reading. I was reading very much. In fact, when my mother when I brought it, she scared. So, they let him lose the boy because why her brother she was reading too much, and he left the place. So she was afraid. So I was reading. I was getting. I was buying, but I was getting the library books.
Good.
Well,
So you learned to speak English just from people that knew how to speak English. You didn't go to English school or anything, like you didn't go to language classes.
I think I did go to short time, nighttime or something like that. Then nighttime maybe I went. I don't remember those stuff.
When you went to the college to take art classes, did you have to show anybody at the college any of your paintings or your drawings?
No.
So you just went and you just told them you wanted to take
Just
it?
went, and they asked, of course, what I didn't. Two of us, Petrus, he was my chum from the old country.
His name is Petre?
Stoyanov.
Petre Stoyanov.
Yeah.
And what village is he from? What village? Petre Stoyanov. Where did he come from?
Same village.
Same village, Zelevo?
Relative of mine. Chum, and of course, live in the same neighborhood.
Now, I want to ask you something. I want to ask you how your father felt about you going to our class.
No, he didn't want to. She said, why? What do you want to? Well, Peter, so no, he didn't want to.
Sure, your pantas the
No,
show.
so I mean, I didn't come for a year or 2 years. I was attending the art school.
For 1 or 2 years, you didn't
Yeah,
tell him?
no, he thought I was going to learn English.
Oh.
But he didn't know finally. One day he said, well, no, he wanted me to go, but let's go back, because he wanted to go back to see my mother and so on. But, it was a country in Greece, we never go there. But he said, let's go either to Bulgaria or to Serbia. I said, well, no, I said, I can't go because I'm stuck here.
Well, you didn't want to go because you wanted to...
Huh?
You didn't want to go, right?
No, but not that I didn't want to, but I mean, first of all, when I graduated from the art school, I wanted to go to Bulgaria.
Oh, I
So
see.
I even wrote the letter to them, but they don't, those countries, they never write answer the letter, never write answer.
So here you
Oh.
graduated from the College of Art, and you wanted to go to Bulgaria. Why?
Well, I'll tell you what, because I knew, because I was going to art school, to Bulgarian school, we have, then I thought I'll go there to learn more Bulgarian, learn perfect language, then go to France, my idea. But 1923, I graduated, my father, my mother and two sisters came around just before Christmas. So I couldn't very well decide to go.
Right. Why not?
Well, they leave them alone here. They were a strange city. My father didn't want to stay here, and he didn't know the language very good. All people, they can learn. I was no language very. But anyway, I didn't go. Then that's why I didn't go. A pity. He liked me so much. He said that you must go to France, and he gave me the address and everything. You go there for 2 years and so on. France.
Who was Speedy?
Teacher. Professor of the art college.
So he was one of your professors at the College of Art.
He was very good, very man. Because he was one of the best. I have some of my newspaper that they have here, the clips. Still kept them here. That was the first one to get there all the prizes for painting, for whatnot.
When you told your father you were going to the College of Art, what did he say when you finally told him?
Well, I didn't know for about 2 years of going. I didn't know that I was going.
How did he find out?
Well, I don't know, from other people I found out that why were you going to draw Marne, Stari Grekish, Stari Marne, and so on, but no, they didn't believe in art.
So you graduated from the College of Art. When you were at the college, did you meet any of the group of seven? You know the group of seven?
Right, it should be. Oh, really? Group of seven, Lisbon was a group of seven.
Lismer, Arthur
Let's see
Lismer.
now, the other fellow went from West, I can't remember the name now.
Wasn't Tom Thompson?
No, Thompson, no, I don't think I met Thompson. It's funny, I don't know, because Thompson was, and I was at a studio here, and let's see, my house, I had a house on, let's see, and let's see now, I can't even think of the.
Is this your studio? You had a studio?
No, studio after that, I bought after I graduated, and I had a studio, in the studio. And I have icons I painted the church I just painted in 1970 painting, so I thought, well, I'll go and take a picture of it. So I have what I need on my nephews in the photographer. So he took pictures, and you know what, when we painted paintings for this Romanian church, one of the bishops, when he had a gathering to be consecrated and so on, said, I've been all over the United States, I haven't seen paintings like this.
These are your paintings, the ones you did.
Church paintings.
And these are here in Toronto?
Yeah.
At what church? What's the name of the church?
St. Cyril, by the way.
At St. Cyril's.
I'm a member there.
So you're a member of that church, and so your paintings, the icons, are inside the church.
Oh, no, I didn't paint that church, no.
No.
I was mad about that. I will scrap with the priest.
So where were the icons that you painted? What church were they?
This was a Romanian church.
So you painted the icons in the Romanian church,
The Romanian church.
but St. Cyril's didn't have you paint their icons.
Well, I'll tell you, this is where I fight with the priest because this is a long story. He was my friend, my cousin, they say, same to the priest. He was, I don't know, I've written my stories about details.
So in 1922, you graduated. Did you win any awards at the college? Any medals? Did you get medals for your artwork?
The Governor General Medal.
Huh?
Governor General Medal.
You got the Governor General
Medal, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Medal, I had diplomas, I had certificates. I mean, I
Did you work as an artist? After you graduated, did you work as an artist? Did you earn money as an artist?
I mean, I'm sure I was working, making portraits. I was about, that's right, I can't, like, those. There is those days there used to be a way of making portraits, like gathering photographs, larger photographs, and finish them up like real portraits.
Right.
Yeah, I paint some paintings on the canvas, but this is where my living. So one was first one was the United Art I worked. The Martian portrait was the last one, and they closed when the depression came. Closed, and I had to open up myself studio. I had a Queen Street studio.
That's wonderful. I didn't know that.
Queen Street, I had a studio. Queen, based in that church. What's the name? Power Street. I can't remember the street.
Queen Street East or Queen Street West? Where's Power Street?
Pass, if you go, the Parliament, you pass, if you go from west, like the second street. The church.
I think I know.
Church in the corner there, it's the same. If you go there, you see nothing but all foreigners. The church was so beautiful, the church, but it's now all foreigners.
So you had a studio there. And did you work there in the daytime, or did you have another job?
Oh, I worked in this, ever since I worked portrait, and I worked in my place where I was living in Lansdowne. I paid 50 I worked. Then from there I decided to move on Queen Street. I moved on Queen Street because some things were so bad. I mean, portraits, it was open up a photograph studio because my father wanted me to be a photographer. He said, let's go together. Three of us went. This artist went, but this didn't stay with us. A month, 2-3 months, we bought him out because he didn't want to stay. So I said, well, I learned the business from the photography level. Because I'll go quick. He didn't want to show me, but I'll open up a studio myself, Queen Street, and finally, then I bought the store, and I sold the store. I built a house, very beautiful house on Hillside Drive. It's a very the radio on the hillside, it's a very nice house. Fashion, the ravine. Well, I mean.
And then did you have a studio in your house?
Oh yeah.
So you worked out of your house then?
Well, because I worked for this place, then when they give up, then I work for myself. I had an agent all over Canada.
You had an agent?
Sure, I'm getting this is a photograph. They pick up, then I do a large photography. And I enlarge him and I finish him with airbrush.
So you just use an airbrush?
Airbrush,
That's interesting. I didn't know that you could
do
that.
Airbrush, portraits. And I paint with the hand, by hand too.
So that's interesting. So you would take the photograph, you'd enlarge it, and you put it on canvas.
Frame it, nice frame and so on.
Then you would use airbrush for the background and for the skin tones, and then you'd finish it with a paintbrush.
Some of them, they're bright when the girls, they didn't have money, then later on, so what about that? Put me a dress.
Putting a pretty dress on.
Yeah, I meant to make the...
So you're also a fashion designer then? Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. I didn't know that that's how it was done.
Oh, I was there, that finished then. Let's see. From there I moved here, this place, 1984, I think.
to Canadian Macedonian place.
I was very active with Foto.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the pictures I have of it.
We're going to have to go into your apartment and see some of those paintings before we go on.
Yeah.
I think so.
People tell me about we've done anything because I don't see him. I don't know why I don't see him. Because,
I think he's so busy.
ah,
I think he's a very busy man.
a busy man, yeah. But anyway, so anyway, I came here and the first people were away after the board of directors. So 5 people who appointed and have the name or the name of the place, the name of the drivers and so on. Name. Everyone will say this guy was there, some will say, well, place, you know, it's some different. Or like, what's the name that Aegeam can't remember? No, not place, no, Catholic. No, Macedonian place. I said, why not Canadian place? Because Macedonia is Macedonian Serbia, Macedonian Bulgaria, and Macedonian this, but Canadian Macedonian place. All the Canadian Zdravets. That was my idea.
That's great. Well, I see you're a creative man.
Huh?
It's because you're a creative man.
I don't know what I was Zdravets and we didn't know how many lives here. So Spiro Vasiljev, he was with me, he was in the committee. So winter time, you know what, we wrote in Macedonia, they didn't answer. Sent to Bulgaria, and wrote a letter to go to France, they never answered. Never answered. The one fellow came to St. Cyril, he was well educated, he says, I'll write a good letter to the school in Bulgaria then. Maybe they don't even pay the way the letter, the guy would say back letter, pay twice and then write same thing everywhere.
Well, you can't count on people sometimes. You know what I want to do? I want to see some of the paintings that are in your apartment. Can I see them? Can I see some of the paintings in your apartment?
Yeah. Oh, there was some paintings here. Painting I have only have one. My sister has more paintings I have. I've only kept one painting. The rest I paint somewhere sold paintings and so on. I kept one. Then they want to sell it because my wife liked painting very much. So I mean, my wife was here. She died here, and then ever since I'm here.
When did she die? How long ago did she die?
Well, that's, you know, that's the end I think in 84 she moved. I think 84 she died, I think. No,